Thank you. Today is a very special day for many reasons. And it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker this morning, who is Reverend Keith Norton, our senior minister. Reverend Keith has been associated with Center of Enlightenment for a long time, more than a decade. He and his lovely wife Fiona were married here. Reverend Keith has served on our board of advisors in several positions, and Reverend Ken Nowaczewski appointed him as the senior minister as Reverend Ken retired. I know Reverend Keith has some special ideas and thoughts to share with us this morning, and so please help me welcome Reverend Keith to the podium.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
As Reverend Carroll said, I started attending here back in 2006. And some of the first people I met were actually Trieste and Letta. And it's nice to see the pews actually full, because when I first started attending here, there was maybe 4 to 6 people in the pews at any given time. We were so small at that point, we used to end the service in the middle by singing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth." And when I say 4 to 6, sometimes that also included the speaker and minister. So it's nice to see we've grown. And at that time, even back then, Letta was serving as a trustee on the board of directors. And when I joined the board in 2017 as vice president, I like to think I was volunteer, but it was kind of like, you want to be vice president? You really want to be vice president. I gotta love Reverend Karen Woodmansey for that. And in 2008, I was elected president of the board and served in that role to 2018. The whole time I served on the board, Letta was as a trustee, always involved in something. And as I stepped back from the role of president in 2018, I took on the role of trustee, and I got to work even closer with Letta. And over the years of serving on the board, I got to know her really well. Over the years, our families have become quite close, and I'm proud to call them dear friends. Letta and Trieste attended our wedding here in 2009, and when Kurt and Trieste got married, we attended theirs. And when we can, and occasionally get together to have game night. So, yes. Many, many years of laughter and friendship. And I used to call Letta my church mom, and she always used to crack up at that. I think she kind of liked when I called her mom. But everywhere I look around this church, I'm reminded of Letta. Just take a moment to look around the church. Everything you see in the sanctuary, in the basement, the front door, whatever, she's had her hands in the pot on it. A few examples is the lovely swag behind me. That was Trieste and Letta's idea. The color of the sanctuary walls. I remember Letta was so excited to repaint the church when we had the flood in 2014, our basement downstairs was absolutely destroyed. And it was Letta and Trieste who redesigned the kitchen to make it more efficient and more beautiful than even today it shows. The little cart that's in the middle of the kitchen was Letta's idea. She found that because we didn't have a table there, and it was her inspiration to put an electrical outlet there for crock pots, because up to that point we had no counter space. So everywhere you see, Letta's had her hands on something. She was always volunteering for stuff. She loved this church and loved serving in any way she could. She was someone you could really count on to get anything and everything done. And whether it was just simply picking up paper towel rolls, she knew where to get the paper towel rolls. For some reason, we ended up with an odd size paper towel roll that is unique, so she knew where to get it. Changing a battery in the smoke detector or cleaning the church, Letta was always there and willing to volunteer and step up. And one of the things I've always admired about her is she knew how to do everything. And if she didn't know, she knew people. And a lot of times she ended up doing it herself. She was very handy and was very admirable. I've always looked up to that. And when this church was founded in 1983, it was run by volunteers, and it still to that day stands. Each and every one of the ministers, board members, and volunteers volunteer their time to keeping the church open and running. For every hour we spend in worship, there's probably 2 to 3, 4 hours of planning behind the scenes that takes place. Basically, it takes a small army to keep our church open, and we'll never turn anyone away from volunteering. There's always something to do or take care of here at the church. If you want to volunteer to help talk to one of the ministers, their board of directors, even if you have only 5 minutes to volunteer for something, pull a few weeds, pick something up, make a phone call, we appreciate any and all help. And so, according to helpguide.org, there are many benefits to volunteering. And in the interest of time, I shortened this article a bit because it was rather lengthy and I didn't want to read it word for word, but I kept some key points in here. 3 ways to feel better, healthier, and happier volunteering. Benefit 1, volunteering is good for your mind and body. Volunteering provides many benefits to both mental and physical health. Volunteering helps counteract the effects of stress, anger, and anxiety. The social contact aspect of helping and working with others can have a profound effect on your overall psychological well-being. Nothing relieves stress better than a meaningful connection to another person. Working with pets or small animals has also been shown to improve mood and reduce stress and anxiety. Volunteering combats depression. Volunteering keeps you in regular contact with others, and it helps you develop a solid support system. And what a great support system our church has. We all help each other out. We're always willing to jump in, and we're always willing to support each other in good and bad. Volunteering makes you happy. By measuring hormones and brain activities, researchers have discovered that being helpful to others delivers immense pleasure. Human beings are hardwired to give to others. The more you give, the happier we feel. Volunteering increases self-confidence. You are doing good for others in the community, which provides a natural sense of accomplishment. Your role as a volunteer can also give you a sense of pride and identity. And the better you feel about yourself, the more likely you are to have a positive view of your life and future goals. Volunteering provides a sense of purpose. Older adults, especially those who have retired or lost a spouse, can find new meaning and direction in their lives by helping others. Whatever your age or life situation, volunteering can take your mind off your own worries, keep you mentally stimulated, and add more zest to your life. Volunteering helps you stay physically healthy. Studies have found that those who volunteer have a lower mortality rate than those who do not. Older volunteers tend to walk more, find it easier to cope with everyday tasks, are less likely to develop high blood pressure, and have better thinking skills. Volunteering can also lessen symptoms of chronic pain and reduce the risk of heart disease. Benefit 2, volunteering brings fun and fulfillment to your life. Volunteering is a fun and easy way to explore your interests and passions. Doing volunteer work you will find meaningful and interesting, can be a relaxing, energizing escape from your day-to-day routine of work and life and school and family commitments. Volunteering also provides you with renewed creativity, motivation, and vision that can carry out over time in your personal and professional life. Many people volunteer in order to make time for hobbies outside of work as well. For instance, if you have a desk job and long to spend time outdoors, you might consider volunteering to help plant a community garden, walk dogs for an animal shelter, or help out at a children's camp. And one of the biggest benefits, benefit 3, is volunteering connects you to others. One of the more well-known benefits of volunteering is the impact on the community. Volunteering allows you to connect to your community and make it a better place. Even helping out with the smallest tasks can make a real difference for the lives of people, animals, and organizations in need. And volunteering is a two-way street. It can benefit you and your family as much as it can as the cause you choose to help. Dedicating your time as a volunteer helps you make new friends, expand your network, and boost your social skills. And you can increase your social and relationship skills. While some people are naturally outgoing, others are shy and have a hard time meeting new people. That was definitely not Letta. Letta was always outgoing, first one to introduce herself to people. Volunteering gives you the opportunity to practice and develop your social skills, since you are meeting regularly with a group of people with common interest. Once you have momentum, it's easier to branch out and make more friends and contacts. Make new friends and contacts. One of the best ways to make new friends and strengthen existing relationships is to commit to a shared activity together. Volunteering is a great way to meet new people, especially if you are new to an area. It strengthens your ties to the community and broadens your support network, exposing you to people with common interests, neighborhood resources, and fun and fulfilling activities. And remember, I mentioned that at the beginning of today's sermon that I served on the board with Letta and got to know her really well, her and her family. That was only possibly because I volunteered to be on the board. So in today of honors in Letta's many years of commitment and continuous service and dedication to the church, it's my privilege and honor to announce that from this day forward, our fellowship hall downstairs will be known as the Letta A. Woods Fellowship Hall. And we have a plaque. And this plaque will be downstairs on June 23rd, 2024, in love and gratitude to Letta A. Woods. For decades of service to the Center of Enlightenment, the ministers and board dedicate Fellowship Hall in her memory. And this will be hung right at the wall as you come down the sanctuary. Yes, Reverend Kevin.
One other thing that Letta lent her talents to was she was a very, very, very loyal member of the choir, and she rarely missed a practice until she finally had to give up driving, and then it was too difficult.
Yes. Thank you. So I'd like to invite you to join us following today's service for a catered luncheon downstairs in honor of Letta in our Letta Woods Fellowship Hall. Thank you, everyone.
I hope when my time is up that somebody will say nice things like that about me. I hope. Instead of saying she was a crabby old bag, you know. We're glad she's gone. You know? All right. It's time now to share our love offering. So on the second side of our prayer card are the abundance principles, and up on the screen. Number 1, I believe that as a co-creator with Mother, Father, God, I have the power and the responsibility to create a life that is in direct alignment with divine will. I request and